There are many companies in the United States committed to providing services for the military, as well as helping active members of the U.S. veterans in the transition of finding their way back in the civilian workforce. Hi, I'm your host, Taya Kyle. I'm probably best known for being the wife of Chris Kyle, American Sniper, and the author of American Wife. I'm also the executive director of Chris Kyle Frog Foundation. In today's show, Military Makeover, Operation Career, we are sharing 4 stories about companies who recognize the value and skill set in our veterans. Our first story is about a company who provides the integral services empowering our nation's military communities from the ground up. This company is well known by their slogan, "Serving those who serve."
Our customer is the military. At each and every base, whether it's Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, if we're at that base, we're dealing with our customers of military personnel.
From breaking ground to dedicated service, ASUS is committed to offering the best in utility services for all our military installations.
When someone asks me what we do, we serve the military on a day in, day out, 24/7. We deliver clean drinking water to the men and women of the military. I get to serve in the military in the Coast Guard, and I get to serve in the military while I'm working at ASUS. Doesn't matter. We live and breathe serving those who serve. 6 years ago is when I joined the United States Coast Guard. The reason for that, we had a major setback. My daughter at 2 weeks old was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. A health issue came up with her that required emergency surgery. With insurance premiums and rates going sky high, I needed something solid for my family. I needed an expedited entry into the Coast Guard so that I could get insurance for my family. I needed something stable. I went in for insurance benefits for my family, and I got so much more. I served 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, and just recently was deployed to Puerto Rico for 60 days to support Hurricane Maria efforts. So when I broke the news to my senior leaders at ASUS being deployed to Puerto Rico for the next 60 days, they were excited and were honored that I would even be asked to go into support, and they were 100% behind it. And so I went. They took care of my family, they called and checked on them. They made sure that I knew that things were good here back at home. Working for ASUS, our main slogan is serving those who serve. Why would I not want to work for a company that serves those who serve?
My parents are immigrants. They both came from Poland. 1939 when the war broke out, and at the end of the war, they were all displaced. So they came to America to start a new life. Being an immigrant, we didn't have a whole lot of money, so college was not in my cards at all. My way out was the military. I always knew I wanted to be in the Navy. 9 years into my career, I was injured at sea, and had to come home disabled. Didn't know what I was going to do with myself. I did not have a translatable job, and my wife and I had a son, and we had another one on the way. So I had to find a job, found a job with ASUS. So here at ASUS, our motto is serving those who serve. We're here to provide you an opportunity, a job, and a direction. We need you, we want you. There's a great world out here, whether it's schooling, whether it's you want to get into engineering or surveying or GIS, or you just want to dig ditches with us side by side, we've got a place for you.
ASUS workforce is currently made up of 27% veteran employees, with a company goal of reaching 50% in the near future.
Little did I know that using my experience here at ASUS in the water and wastewater utility work would be a huge need in Puerto Rico. Working for ASUS is so similar to what I do in the Coast Guard. There's a clear direction, there's a defined mission, and what we need to do on a day-to-day basis. We go out, we get that mission each morning, and we go out and execute. When the mission changes, we change with it, no matter if it's to the Coast Guard or with ASUS. Each and every day I serve my family, I serve my country, and I serve the men and women of the military all across the United States at our ASUS locations.
When I was discharged from the Navy, I was told I was never going to walk again, and definitely would never run again. Well, I'm here to tell you that's all changed. There are a lot of other veterans that are in different circumstances, whether they may be amputees or they may be struggling. My message to them is very clear. Hey, don't give up. Look for us. We're at various veterans events. We're at the SAMI conference, Society of American Engineers conference. We're at the Disabled Veteran conferences. We're looking for you. If you're active duty, getting ready to retire, if you're active duty thinking about separating, if you're in the reserves and looking for a challenge, challenge is here. ASUS is the place you need to be.
Our next segment is about two service members who, after leaving military service, found a way back into the workforce through a highly recognized company that values military experience. This company offers a wide range of unique opportunities for military personnel who are interested in pursuing a civilian career.
We're in East Hartford, Connecticut, visiting the headquarters of Pratt Whitney, an industry-leading American aerospace manufacturer with global service operations. Pratt Whitney is a subsidiary of United Technologies, and their engines are widely used in both civil and military aviation.
Well, Pratt Whitney is an amazing company. We've been around since 1925 and we do one thing. We make engines. We make engines for small aircraft, for large commercial aircraft, and for military.
Before joining Pratt Whitney, Matthew Bromberg served 5 years as a nuclear submarine officer in the U.S. Navy. He understands the kind of leadership skills that a veteran can bring to a corporation.
We like hiring veterans and their spouses because it's the right thing to do. First and foremost, they share the values of Pratt Whitney, the values that we subscribe to about transparency, integrity. So when we look at building those values inside Pratt Whitney, veterans and their spouses are ideal to add to our team.
Mike Axler is one of the veterans working for Pratt Whitney. During his 11 years of military experience, he was deployed to Afghanistan, where he soon became platoon sergeant.
You don't know what to expect, having never been there before, never been in that situation. You don't know what's coming. Your mind's going, a million miles an hour. You've got a lot of things going on, a lot of things to think of on a daily basis. That fight or flight, you're always watching your back and everything like that. It's definitely, just the fear of the unknown. The hardest part, I have lost a few friends from other units that we were in, a couple to suicide when we came home and everything, but I was fortunate not to have anybody killed in my unit while we were there.
Adjusting to a civilian life can be very challenging to veterans.
It was just tough normalizing, I'll say, going from having to look over your shoulder, all of the time, watch your back, when you're out on convoy and things like that. You never know what's going to happen. You never know, what's going to be around the corner. You're back in the United States, you're safe, you're home. So it takes your body and your mind a little while to kind of get used to that and get adjusted.
Mr. Bromberg serves as the executive sponsor of UTC for Vets, an employee resource group from veteran employees of Pratt Whitney and United Technologies.
Well, UTC Vets is a group of employees that get together with a common underlying interest or background and trying to help each other out. And for UTC for Vets, there's 3 primary focus areas. The first is to recruit. We recognize that recruiting veterans is important at Pratt Whitney, and it requires existing employees that care about veterans to help them. The second is to be involved in the retraining or transition process. And then finally, it's to return the success of veterans in Pratt Whitney to the community by providing charity services, outreach services, and community events.
The UTC for Vets is not only great for folks within the company already, but we also do a lot of outreach activities with the community and everything like that, and we try to give back where we can.
Maureen Waterston is responsible for Pratt Whitney's human resources activities, including talent, recruitment, and development.
We think that Pratt Whitney is a great fit for veterans because we come from a common foundation. We have strong core values, we have a strong ethical foundation, we believe in leadership, commitment, and innovation. So that gives us a great common ground for veterans who join us. I
was fortunate enough to get in as a co-op in EH&S and military engines. And actually, I spent a year doing that, and at the end of that, I got into the operations leadership program. So not only was I able to finish my bachelor's degree, but I also went on to my master's degree, and UTC paid for it.
It is a great time to be at Pratt Whitney. We often say that, we grow economies, we bring families together, and we power freedom. So we take what we do very seriously, and we know that they do too, which makes us a great place to work for veterans.
Pratt Whitney is basically my second home. They gave me a place to work coming out of the military, gave me a sense of empowerment to do what I needed to do on a daily basis, just like in the military. It's a great culturally diverse company, working with people of different backgrounds, different ethnicities, all coming together for a common goal to get the job done.
They've risked their lives for our country, yet it can be just as difficult for veterans when they leave the military to begin a new life in the civilian workplace. But one company, Liberty National, truly appreciates these military people who have fought for our liberty, and they offer a wealth of earning potential for those transitioning veterans with a wealth of ambition.
As a 20-year veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps, Chris Bowling admits life was fulfilling as a soldier. He flew Navy helicopter missions for Special Ops during Operation Enduring Freedom and used his military service to get a college degree.
I joined right out of high school, and I have always felt sort of a sense of duty. I felt like it was something that I should have done, and that was for me to do my part in protecting my family and protecting just the people of the United States.
But later, when he transitioned into the civilian job force, it was a different story.
I wasn't prepared for the difficulties of finding a career after the military. For me, it was a very difficult time. It was a hard struggle. I went from when I retired as a 20-year gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps to taking about a 60% pay cut.
Rick Snyder had the same frustration in finding meaningful work after completing his tour of duty in Iraq. He was an engineer in the Army, responsible for locating IEDs and disarming them.
The camaraderie that I had with my brothers over there, you know, everybody hates it over there. You know, you die for your brothers, and some folks did. 9/11 was definitely the reason for joining. Just felt that internal tug, you know, it's kind of like a patriotic duty. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it really was. The transition was really hard as far as from being, you know, you're going 90 miles an hour worried about bombs and bullets to coming back home and expected to flow right back into the daily lives with bills. And I mean, I felt like I wasn't going anywhere, that I wasn't being valued at all for who I was. And so I struggled with that.
For both of these military veterans, civilian life and their future changed dramatically when their paths crossed at Liberty National, an American insurance company founded in 1900 with a keen interest in recruiting our nation's finest.
What the folks from the military bring is integrity. They bring honesty, they bring a work ethic, they're disciplined, they understand that following systems is critical to survival, and that translates very well into our business.
Yeah, we want to plug them into the system and give them something that if they follow our track record and take our lead, we can show them how to be successful.
Today, Rick and Chris are both successful agents at Liberty National, a civilian career that has truly changed the course of their lives. In Chris's case, he met his wife, Alex, and was able to pay cash for a new home they both had dreamed about. Rick also met his wife, Melissa, and they're enjoying a life together, doing the kind of things they've always wanted to do, thanks to the leadership training that Rick has received.
And Liberty has given me a whole nother future out there. Thanks to my military service, they've given me the opportunity to be somebody that I knew I always could be in the civilian sector. I'm back to saving lives again.
One of the things I think that we've identified with folks from the military is they come with a wealth of ambition. You know, and with that wealth of ambition, I think we can provide them with a wealth of opportunity as well as a wealth of earning potential.
There's a place for you to serve your community here at Liberty National, and it's based on systems and it's based on structure, so it really helps with the transition from the military world.
For vets like Rick and Chris, there's now financial freedom to do the things they want in life and make their job pay exactly what they hope to earn.
In our last segment, we will visit a company who is known nationwide as a neighborhood bar and grill. Applebee's recognizes military service and cares about helping local veterans with job opportunities. Let's look at one Army veteran who has a new role in civilian life and in the workforce through this company.
How are we doing? Good.
My name is Richard McCleary. I work at Applebee's in Manahawkin, New Jersey, and I'm the Assistant General Manager. I've worked at this location for 10 years, but I've been with the company for 16 years. Well, family time is tough with everybody working, but we usually try to pin down some time to play some games, watch some movies, and cooking a good dinner and just sitting down and turning all electronics off and kind of enjoying each other. So.
Ryan.
Rich, how are you, sir?
Doing great. Welcome to Manahawkin, my home away from home for the past 10 years.
Yeah, thank you for having me to the land of good corn here in Manahawkin, New Jersey.
Jersey, yes. I just want to show you around a little bit. Right up here as you walk in, we have our awards. One that's very special to us is the Ocean of Love Award. Ocean of Love is an organization that helps kids with cancer. We've been raising money for about 11, 12 years now. We started off with a golf outing, then we went to a half marathon that we organized. And then over the past few years, I've been running every year 100 miles to raise money for Ocean of Love.
Oh, that's incredible.
These are some of the communities in our area. The far wall over there is Barnegat High School. One thing that's neat about that is one of the student athletes on there, she now works here at Applebee's.
Oh, cool. So she went from the mural to the dining room.
Yes.
That's cool. Very neat.
This is Kareem. He was a regular that was here that was killed in action. His mother had brought the picture in because it was his favorite place. And we were so honored to hang it up here.
What an absolute honor to have it on the wall.
Why don't we head up to the bar and we'll order some food?
Sounds great.
Okay, great.
So, Rich, you've been with the organization now 10 years, is that right?
I've been in this position as an assistant general manager for 10 years, but I've been with Doherty for 16 years.
Wow, that's great. So that's kind of the beauty of Applebee's. People think we're this huge behemoth company that has restaurants all over. The truth is we are individually owned and operated by incredible franchisees like yourself.
You know, like I said when you walked in, welcome to my home away from home. I mean, this is my family. We've had staff there that's been here longer than I have.
3 days after I graduated high school, I enlisted and shipped off to basic training in the Army. And after basic training, I was stationed in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii.
Oh, you poor thing.
It's tough duty, man. It's tough duty. And then after I got out of active duty, I was back in the National Guard in a reserve unit. It was very, very neat. And so, it was a phenomenal experience.
It's kind of neat, like in the military or, serving your community, and I kind of related to that, not only the different charities, but Vets Day.
Yeah,
I mean, you know all about Vets Day.
We have a mission to serve 1 million meals this year. So, what a neat deal, man. It's a really a cool deal. And what's even neater, bringing it full circle for me, is in 2008 was the first year that Applebee's offered it. I sat across the table from my dad at an Applebee's, a local Applebee's, and we enjoyed our free Vets meal. And I felt like $1 million. I felt like the servers, I felt like the staff, the teams. They were really appreciative. They were really applauding us. And I felt so special, and it was really, really neat. So now, fast forward, 11 years, and here I am helping to give that same experience to the millions of folks, veterans, active duty service members who dine in our restaurants all the time.
But I think it's more than just trying to do, like the discount or the free meal. It's how we make them feel when they come in, and make them feel welcome. Introduce them to other veterans that are here, and we've even talked about doing some other different things that could bring more of like a community meeting place for them. So
that's great.
Which is great.
That's exactly right. And Vets Day is so much bigger than just one person. It's not about just the vet who deserves the recognition and the free meal and the stuff that they're getting. It's about their families. Yeah. Their families sacrifice
a lot
so
of sacrifices there.
And so to house that, house those families within our restaurants, it's a special thing. So. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, and thank your family for your lineage for the service to the country, and many, many more.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Dig in. Well, Rich, thank you so kindly for having me out here. I appreciate it, and I really want to thank you for having the impact on the community that you do, man. Really awesome.
I appreciate you coming out to see my restaurant, and look forward to you running 100 miles with me.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, but appreciate the thought, bud. Have a great day.
All of these stories show the importance of creating meaningful connections for our nation's men and women who have sacrificed to keep our country safe. Recognizing their experience And welcoming them back into the civilian workforce is such an impactful way to show our gratitude. I'm Taya Kyle. See you next time.